So guys, welcome back in our channel. I hope that my voice is transmitting on my video. I'm in the stream. Today we are going through the continue our reading section that every day we do. But let's recap those all things that we have done the previously. Likely than previously, we have done most about the fallout, or like we have started from. So let's recap those all things. We have started from the rocky relationships. There we have saw the Amber Heard and Elon, and that before we saw about the boring company, that how the boring company came in alive. Like the Elon made this company for to resolve all the traffic solution and across the USA, not across the USA. This idea will be implemented soon and across the global. So as we know exactly what we are doing here. So after that, the rocky relationship is almost like there we have a learn about the Amber Heard and Elon relationships, that the how the relationship began with the sweet memories, but then after it became the hell out of. So then we saw about the descent into dark, that how the Elon entire life, the very tough time has come. Then the Elon drawn in that time, and how Elon got lots of pain there while the Model 3 production. Then now we are going to see the grams. This is the 49th chapter and of the this book, the Elon Musk by the Water Issacson. So today we're going to learn about the grams, that how the grams met to the Elon. And as you can see, so let's read out. We don't have the much time because I already having invested my time to start my Streamlabs application, because I was having the lots of issues in a Streamlabs. So before there any issue rise up, we should go ahead. So the grams, 49th chapter of this book, the Claire Butcher as a known as a grams, dressed for the performance with the Musk at the Metropolitan Museum Gala. So let's go. EM plus CD. Every now and then, often at the most complex of the times, the creator of our simulation, those rascals who conjure up what we are led to believe in is reality, drop in a sparky new element, one that creates the chaotic new subplots, and thus into the Musk life in the spring of the 2018, amid the more emotional tsunami caused by his breakup with the Amber Heard came in the wave like the waver of the sounds, the clear butcher known as the Grimes, a smart and spellbinding performance artist who's appearing on and off the drummer seat, and even the public battle with the unhinged rapper. Born in a Vancouver, the Grams had produced the 4 albums by the time she started dating the Musk, drawing on a science fiction themes and memes. Her mesmerizing music combined the song's texture with the elements of the dream pop and electronica. She had an adventurous intellectual curiosity that led to her to become the interested in a elastic the idea, such as a thought the experiment known as the Rocker Basilic, which posits that the artificial intelligence could get out of the control and torture the any human who has no help it to gain the power. These are the type of the things that she and the Musk worry about. When the Musk wanted to tweet the poon about it, the Google he searched on Google to find an image, and he discovered that the Grams had made it an element of the 2015 music video Flesh Without the Blur. She and Musk got into the Twitter exchange, and that led in a modern way to direct the messaging and testing. They had met before, and ironically, if was when the Musk was in a elevator with Amber Heard. Remember that elevator meeting? Gramps asked during the late night conversation I had with her and Musk. I mean, that was super weird. Of all the times to meet, Musk agreed, and you were staring at me very intensely. No, she corrected. You were the one of giving me the weird stare. After they met again, through the Rocco's Basilica exchange on our Twitter, Musk invited her to fly up on the Fremont to visit his factory. His idea of the good date, it was the end of the March 2018 and made the craze the push to make the 5,000 car per week. We just walked the floor all night and watched him to try to fix things. Graham says the next night while driving her the restaurant, he showed us how fast the car accelerated, then took his hand off the wheel, covered his eyes, and let her experience autopilot. I was like, oh shit, this guy is hell crazy. She says the car was a singling and changing the lanes by itself. It felt like a scene out of the Marvel movie. At the restaurant, he carved the EM plus CB on the wall. When she compared his power to those of the Gandalf, he gave her the rapid fire the trivia test on a Lord of the Rings. He wanted to see whether she was a truly faithful fan. She passed. That mattered to me. Must say as a gift. She gave me a box of the animal bones she had collected in the evening. They listened to Dan Carlin, Hardcore History, and other history podcasts and audiobooks. The only way I could be in a serious relationship is if the person I'm dating can who listen and the harbor of like a war history before bed. She says, Elon and I have gone through the many topics like ancient Greece and the Napoleon and the military strategies of the World War One. This was all happening as Musk was going through the mental and work-related tailspins of the 2018. Man, you seems like you are in a really tough, rough headspace. She said to me, "Do you want me to bring the music stuff over and I can work at your house?" He said he would like that. He did not want to be alone. She figured out that she would stay with him for weeks until his emotional tumult settled down. But the storm just sort of never stopped, and you were just the one on the ship and on the ride. I just stayed there. She accompanied him to try the factories some nights when he was in a battle mode. He always trying to looking out for what's wrong with the motor, what's wrong with the engine, the heat shield, and liquid oxygen valve. She says one night they went out to a dinner and Moss suddenly went to silent, thinking after the minute or two. He asked if she had a pen. She pulled a eyeliner out of her purse. He took it and began to draw on his napkin, an idea modifying the engine shield. I realized that when I was with him, there would be times when his mind would go somewhere else. Usually to an issues at the work, she says in the May taking on a brief break from the Tesla factory production hell. He flew with the New York to attend the Metapolis, the museum annual gala, the glittery extravaganza, uh, featuring just the over-the-top fashion and costumes. The most suggested idea for her the outfit, the medieval punk, black and white ensemble with the hard glass crest, and the necklace made of the spikes and that resembled the Tesla logo. He even had someone from the Tesla design team help execute it. He wore the white shirt with the elac crackle collar and pure white tuxedo jacket with the faint inception, the Novus Ordo silk chroma. The Latin phrase, her landing, the new order of the gauges. So that story that we know about the Elon and the Grimes. That's been a lots of time, long time they have been together, but still they got a semi-separated by 2021, as per my knowledge. And you can see that how they met on a Twitter. Like the Grams having such a knowledge about everything, she has an interested in those things that what the Elon liked too much. So let's see the what's next. So the rap battle. Despite the wanting to help him through the his trauma, Grams was not the calming influence. The intensity that made her an edgy artist brought with it the messy lifestyle. She stayed up the most of the night and slept the most of the day. She was a demanding and distrustful of the Musk household staff. She had a difficult relationship with his mother. Musk was a drama addict and Grams had a companion trait. She was a drama magnet, whether she intended or not. She attracted just when the Thai cave incident and tumult about the talking the Tesla private were spinning out of the control in August 2018. Grams invited the rapper the Azealia Banks to stay with her the Musk house and collaborate some music. She had forgotten that she and Musk had made the plans to visit the Kimball in a Boulder and Grams told the Banks she could stay at the guest house for a weekend. One that Friday morning, 3 days after his take private tweet, Musk got up, did a walk out of made the few calls and caught a short glimpse of the banks in his house. When he's focused on other things, he doesn't pay much attention to the things around him. He wasn't quite sure who she was, other than the friends of the Grams, upset that the Grams blew off the recording season so she could be with the Musk. Banks unleashed and torrent of abuse on her followed the Instagram. I waited around all the weekend while the Grams coddled her boyfriend for being to be stupid, not to go on Twitter while on acid. She posted this was a false, must never use the acid, but it's understandably piqued and interested not only the press but the CSE banks bankers posting about the Grams and Musk progressively crazier. Lol, the Elon Musk is the better of the hiring the escort. At least the escort would have kept the mouth shut up about his business. He's got some the dirty sneaker in very out of the hood of the paddles the beer pussy met her the junkie running around the town. They telling everyone everything about him, all because he needed a date to meet her. Gala hired the stinking dick from her. What the hell? Thinking about shrinking dick from her, but her lord, he's on a Down syndrome sex spectrum. There's something not quite right about that man. I would give him the credit calling him an alien. He's a mutant. Hell crackers. The last time I tried working with the white whale. What the hell? When the Business Insider did a phone interview with her banks connected, the situation much played to the Tesla private, which made the matters legally worse. I saw him in a kitchen tucking his tail in between his legs, as swagging for the investor uncover his ass after that tweet. She said he was straight and red in the face. By then, the wacky stories involving Musk had a shot of the shell in life. The story was a tabloid sensation about week, then it died down after the bank posted the letter of apology. Grimes was able to turn the tale into graced for her the music. She released the song in 2021 titled The 100% Tragedy, which she said was about the having defeated the Azalea Banks when she tried to destroy my life. So this kind of like the little bit cruel story that happened, the cruel moment that happened in the between Musk and Grams. So we should go ahead. So we don't have a much time, so we are still trying to read out. Many share of the Musk, despite Such a drama, the Grams was a good partner for the Musk like Amber Heard, and Musk himself, she was inclined toward the chaos, but unlike the Amber, her was the chaos that was undegraded by the kindness and even the sweetness. My dungeons and dragon alignment would be a chaotic good. She says, whereas Amber's is a purely chaotic evil. She realized that's what made the Amber entrancing to Musk. He has attracted to the chaotic evil. It's about his father and what he grew up with, and he's quick to fall back into being treated badly. He associated uh, love with being mean or abusive. There is an hero number through a line. She enjoyed his intensity. One evening they went to see the 3D movie Alita Battle Angel. Wow, wow. What the hell? Elon saw the Alita the Battle Angel. Okay, she enjoyed the intensity, but they arrived after all the 3D glasses were gone. Months instead, they stay and watch anyways. Even through the completely blurry, when the Grams doing the voice recording for the cyborg pop star she played in the video games, Cyberpunk 2017, 77, she showed up with the studio wedding 100 of the years on the gun, and instead of they gave him the cameo. The studio guys were like sweating. Graham says they aired the mask. I told them I was armed but not dangerous. They relented. The cybernetic implants in the game were the sci-fi version of what he was doing at the Neuralink. It hit close to home, he says. Her basis insight on the Musk was that he was wired differently than the other. The Asperger makes you the very difficult person. She says he's not good at the reading the room. His emotional comprehensions is just very different from the average human. But people should keep his psychological makeup in mind when judging him. She argues if someone has a depression and anxiety, we sympathize. But if they have a Asperger, we say he's an asshole. She learned to navigate how many modes of his personalities. He has a numerous mind and many fairly distinct personalities. She says he moves between them at the very rapid pace. You just feel the airline in a room change, and suddenly whole situation is just transfer over his other state. She noticed that his different personalities had a different taste, even in the music and decor. My favorite version of the E is just one who's down a burning man and will sleep on a couch and eat a can of soup and chill. Her bed in order is Elon, and that's what she called the demon mode. Demon mode is when he goes dark and retreats inside the storm in his brain. One night, when they were at a dinner with the groups, I watched the clouds together and much mood shifted. Gramps aged away from him when we hang out. I make sure I'm with the right Elon. She later explained there are guys in here who don't like me, I don't like them. Sometimes one of the Elon version he will seem not to remember what another one has done. You will stay stuff to him and then he will just have a no memory of it the whatsoever because he was in a brain space. Graham says if he is focused on a particular thing, he will not get the stimulation, not to consume any input from the outside world. The stuff can be right in front of his eyes. He won't see, just like what happened when he was in a grade school. During the 2020 emotional turmoil at the Tesla, she tried to coax him to relax. Everything doesn't need to suck. She told him to one night you don't need to feel stuck about everything all the time. But she also understood in a way of other did not that she relentlessly was the driver of his success. So too was his demon mode through that took her the little longer appreciate demon mode causes a lots of chaos, she says. But he also gets the shit down. The story is about the Elon and Graham's relationship, that the chaosful relationship, not the conventional relation that you can consider it and refer it as a. So the relationship was very chaotic. That always we see the Elon mind is also shiftful. Like it's not the stay constant as it should be. Elon mood is also change every situation, every bad situation, and you can actually expect what the Elon will say next and what the Elon will do next. So the story is same thing about the behavior of Elon and his entire energetic storm that he brings every time when he having some troubles in his mind. So then let's see the next one, the Shanghai. This is the 50 chapter. This is the 50 chapter. You can see we almost at the half century, and I don't know how I did read this book in my life. I never had to read the book any book in my life, but only this book that I did read half in a century. So let's begin. The Shanghai, that how the Elon planted his entire gigafactory in Shanghai and manufacturing unit in Shanghai. So let's see how it began. So Shanghai Tesla 2015 to 2019. Okay, the Robin Rain. Okay, Robin Rain, the Shanghai-born physics Olympiad, the winner who had been a Musk lab partner at the pen, did not know much about the cars. In fact, almost all he know came from the cross-country road trip that he had taken with the Musk. Um, when they graduated in 1995, Musk had taught him how to deal with the broken down BMW and how to drive a stick shift. Skills he had not subsequently needed after they became the chief technology officer at the Dell company, computers flash drive subsidiary. That is why he was surprised by the request Musk made 20 years later when he asked him to launch in a Palo Alto. Selling the cars in a Tesla, China was a key to Tesla's global ambitions, but things were not going well. Musk had fired the two successful China manager, and after the company sold only one for 120 cars there 1 month, he was preparing to fire his whole top China-based team. How do one fix the Tesla business in China? He asked the Ren at the lunch. Ren expressed his ignorance of the auto industry and simply gave a few high-level thoughts about how to business in China. I'm going to China next week to meet the vice premier. Musk said as they were getting up to leave, "Can you come with me?" Ren demurred, and he had just come back from the business trip to China, but he felt the tug to be a part of the Musk mission. So he emailed the next morning to say he was ready to go. He had a cordial meeting with the vice premier afterward. They met with the former official and other advisor who told them that in order to succeed in selling the cars in China, Tesla would have to manufacture the cars there according to the China's law. That would require the forming joint venture with the Chinese company. Musk was allergic to join the ventures. He didn't share the control well, so he emphasized deploying with a silly humor mode that Tesla did not want to get married. Tesla is too young, he said. Like we barely a baby, now we want to marry. He got up the mimic to told her walking down where wedding aisle. Then the laugh is a signature cackle. Everyone else in the room the laugh, and Chan is a bit hesitantly. Uh, won the fight back on a masjid. He and Narendra remains about the college shared the fun facts about the physics. It was only after the jet landed. They were walking down a stair that must pop the question. Will you join Tesla? Ren said yes. Then big challenge was to find the way to manufacture in China in China. He could either the way wear the down the Musk resistance and have the Tesla form join the venture, which is what the every other company car had done, or he could convince China's top leader to change the law that had defined the Chinese manufacturing growth for 3 decades. We discovered that the later was easier. Months after the month, he lowballed the Chinese government. Musk himself went back in April 2017 to meet with the Chinese leader again. We kept explaining why it would help China to have a Tesla build an auto industry, even if it wasn't joint venture arrangements. As a part of the President Xi Jinping's plans to make a China clean energy innovation center, China finally agreed in early 2018 to let the Tesla build the factory without having entered into a joint venture. Darren and his team were able to negotiate the deal for the more than 200 acres near the Shanghai, along with the low interest loans. Ren flew back to USA, discussed to deal with the Musk in February 2018. Unfortunately, that was in the midst of mass production hell at the Nevada battery factory, and he was in such a frenzy walking the floor, and that the rain could not corner him. They flew to Los Angeles together late night, and but it was only after they landed that Rail got a chance to talk to him. Rail started to go through the slide deck with the maps, financing, commitments, and the deal terms, and Musk did not look at them. Instead, he stared out of the window of the plane for almost a full minute. He looked at the rain directly and said, "Do you believe this is the right thing?" Rain was taken back, and then he paused for a few seconds before saying yes. "Okay, let's do it," Musk said, and left the plane. The formal signing ceremony with the Chinese leader came on July 10, 2018. Musk arrived in Shanghai directly from being the West, deep in the water on the Thai. After the delivering the minutes up, he had built the rescue and standard young soccer players. He changed into the dark suit and stood as people in a red draped the banquet hall, and they all sent the toast. The first Tesla began rolling out of the factory in October 2019. Within 2 years, China would be making more than half of Tesla vehicles. So this is a story that how the rain. So that the person is named Robin Rain. Robin Rain was the mate at the Elon University, the Penn University. Yeah, he was a partner. He's been a partner of Elon when he was in Penn University. But after the graduation, they got separated. But after the many years later, the Elon sent a message to him again to join me, and fortunately he agreed to join. So then they went to the China to set up the manufacturing unit without the get into venture deal. Okay, so the venture deal is almost like you had to sign up on a particular paper where that paper is defined anything that you are in a venture means you are in a partnership. So you don't have to do it, then you must also negotiate and convince to the government that must be remove this process. So the Elon and the Rain is finally got a success in removing that the the venture things. So let's dive in again. 51 chapter, the Cybertruck. I'm literally getting interesting again. The Cybertruck is there. Tesla 2018, 2019. So let's see how the Cybertruck was made of. Steel. On almost every Friday afternoon since he created the Tesla Design Studio in 2008, Musk held the product review season with his chief designer Franz von Hosen. These seasons usually in a quiet quarter in Los Angeles, where the calming the respite, especially after the tumultuous weeks, Musk and the Von Hausen would slowly meander. Let me plug my phone into charging. I want my phone to charge up. Okay. Okay, just beyond the SpaceX headquarters in Los Angeles were the calming respite, especially after the tumultuous e-weeks. Musk and Overhausen would slowly meander and hangar like a room, stalking the prototype and clay models of vehicles that they envisioned for Tesla future. Beginning in early 2017, they began the kicking around the ideas for the Tesla pickup truck. One Horton started with the traditional design using the Charlotte and the Seawardo as a model. One was placed in the middle of the studio and they studied its the proportions and components. Musk said he wanted something more exciting, perhaps even the surprising, so they looked at the historical vehicle with the cool vibe, most notably the El Camino, a retro-futuristic coupe made by the Chavito in the 1960s. Wallhausen designed the pickup truck with a similar vibe, but as they walked around the model, they agreed that it felt too soft. It was too cold. Wallhausen said yes, it didn't have the authority of pickup truck. Musk then added another design reference inspiring the Lotus Esprit of the late 1970s, a pointy wedge in the nose, a British sports car, especially specifically, he was in mod with the version that appeared in the 1977 James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me. The much brought the one that was used in the movie for the close to $1 million, and displayed it in a Tesla design studio. The brainstorming was fun, but it still did not lead to the concept that excited them. For inspiration, they visited the Peterson Automotive Museum where they noticed something surprising. We realized the 1000 says that pickup truck is basically haven't changed in their form of the manufacturing process in 80 years. That led to much shift is a focus on something more basic. What material should they use to build the truck body? By rethinking the material, even the physics of the vehicle structure, it could open. हा हाय बसलो वाचतोय पंखा चालू आहे छोट्या माझा हा sorry the disturbance is coming on. That led to the master shift is a focus on something more basic. What the material should they use to build the truss body? By rethinking the materials and even the physics of the vehicle structure, it could open up possibility of a widely new designs. Originally, we were thinking the aluminum. Von Holzen says we also kicked around the titanium because the durability was really important. But around that time, the must became the inherently by the possibility of making the rocket ship out the glistening to stainless steel. That they might also work for the pickup truck, and he realized the stainless steel body was not need to paint and could bear some of the vehicle structural load. It was a truly out of the box idea, a way to rethink what the vehicle could be. One Friday afternoon, after the few weeks of the discussion, Musk came in and simply announced we are going to do this the whole thing in a stainless thing. The Charles Koeman was the VP for the material engineering the both Tesla and SpaceX. One of the advantages that Musk had was that his companies could share the engineering knowledge. Cushman developed the ultra-hard stainless steel alloy that was cold-rolled rather than the requiring the heat treatments, which patented which Tesla patented. It was strong enough to cheap enough to use both truck and rockets. The decision to use stainless steel for the Cybertruck had a major implication for the engineering of the vehicle. A Tesla body could serve as a load-bearing structure of a vehicle rather than making the chassis play that role. Let's make it strength on the outside, make it the exoskeleton, and hang everything else from the inside of it. Musk suggested the use of the stainless steel also they open up the new possibility for the look of the truck instead of using the stamping machine that would sculpt a carbon fiber into the body panels. With the subtle curves that shapes a stainless steel would favor straight planes and sharp angles, and that allowed and in some ways forced the design team to explore the ideas that were more futuristic, edgier, and even the gyre. So this the little reference of the Tesla Cybertruck, that how the Cybertruck of the from up in his initial of the modeling, that there was the Musk and his greatest designer who designed the Tesla Model S previously. That designer also compares the Tesla pickup truck with the many of a company's pickup truck, and then pick some design from the some the like ready-made of the pickup trucks that already have been exist in a entire world. But then the Musk wanted something new and something like spicy there. So then Musk decided to make the Tesla pickup truck by the stainless steel. So as a further knowledge, you should know that stainless steel is a very hardened material and it's very hard to bend off. Means if you want to if you want to make the parts of the vehicle, then you have to press it very hard to bend that material. So it's not usually and easily could be bent as a originally the car as a car material is bent out. So that's the very hardest material where Elon picked to make this one. So let's go. Alright. Don't resist me. In the fall of the 2018, Musk was emerging from the Nevada and Fremont factory here. The paraffin and take a private tweets and the mental tremolo or the what he called the most opportune year of the life in a time to the challenge. One of the refuges is to the focus on a future projects. That is what he did in the Seren Haven of a design studio on a Tesla Fremont. Okay, on a October 5, when he turned his regular Friday visit into brainstorming season on a design and pickup truck, the cherry Silverado was still on a showroom floor and reference. In front of it were three large display boards with a picture of a wide variety of vehicles, including ones from the video games and sci-fi movie. They range from the retro and futuristic slick the curvaceous to jarring with his hands and a casually in his pocket. One person had the easygoing and loose-linked manner of a surfer looking for the right way. Musk arms a keyboard was called like a bear searching for a prey. After a while, Dave Morris and then the few other designers wondered as he looked at the picture on a display board. Musk gravitated to the one that had a futuristic cyber look. They had recently settled on a design for the Model Y crossover version of the Model 3, and Musk has been talked out of some of his more radical and unconventional suggestions, having played safe with the Model Y. He did not want that to happen with the design of the pickup truck. Let's be bold. He says, let's surprise the people. Every time someone would point the picture that was more conventional, Musk would push back and point to the car from the video game Halo in a trailer of the forthcoming game Cyberpunk 2077 or some from the Ridley Scott movie The Blade Runner. His son Saxon, who is a aesthetic, had recently asked an offbeat question that resonated. Why doesn't the future look like the future? Muswood caught the Saxon question repeatedly as he said to the design team that Friday I want a future look like a future. There were a few designating while suggesting that something to a futuristic would not sell. After all, this was a pickup truck. I don't care if no one buys it. He said at the end of the season, we are not doing the traditional boring truck. We can always do that later. I want to build something that's cool, like it I'd done the Resist. By July 2019, the Olhers and the Morris had built the full-size mock-up of futuristic Jaguar Cyber designed with sharp angles. Diamond facet on a front Friday, they surprised the Musk who had not yet seen it, by putting the middle of the showroom floor next to more traditional model they had been uh, considering. When the Musk were walked in a door leading from the Tesla factory, his reaction instantly. That's it, he exclaimed. I love it. We are doing that. Yes, this is what we are going to do. Yes, okay, done. It became the known as a Cybertruck. A majority of people in the studio hated it. Says also they were like, you can't be serious. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. It was too weird. Some of the engineers started working secretly on an alternative version of Warhol, who is as gentle as a musk is a brusque, spend time listening carefully to their other concerns. If you don't have the buy-in from the people around you, it's hard to get the things done. He says the Musk was less patient when the some designer pushed him to add the at least to some market testing. Musk replied, "I don't focus groups." When the design of the truck was finished in August 2019, Musk told the team he wanted to reveal the working prototype publicly that November in 3 months rather than the 9 months it normally takes to make a running prototype. We want able to have the one we can actually drive by then. Volkswagen said. The Musk replied, yes, we will. His unrealistic deadline usually do not pan out. Musk, in some cases they do. It focused the team to come together, work 24/7, and rally around that. Volkswagen says. On November 2000, November 21, 2019, the truck was driven onto the stage in a design studio for presentation for a press and red like guests. There were gasps. Many in the crowd clearly could not believe this was actually a vehicle they would come to see. CNN reported the Cybertruck looks like a large metal trapezoid on a vehicle, more like a piece than the truck. There was also an unexpected surprise when Volkswagen tried to show the toughness of the truck. He swung the body with the surge hammer, which didn't make a dent, then threw the metal ball armor window shut with one break and crack it. Oh God. Must say, well, maybe that was a little too hard. Overall, the presentation was not a great success. Tesla stock dropped to 6% to next date. Musk was satisfied. Truck had been the same for a very long time, for 100 years, he told the crowd. We wanted to try something different. October, he took a drive to spin in a prototype, the Nobu restaurant where the Royal Parker to stare at it without touching on the way out. Pursued by paparazzi, he drove over the pylon in a parking lot with the no left turn sign. The left turn, turn the left. Oh well, the story is a little bit adventurous. The story is like more conventional, for the Musk. He's a like out of the box mind, also creating something new for the humanity. That also he made the Tesla Cybertruck as the differential vehicle. Tesla Cybertruck is very differential vehicle, because the Cybertruck is made by the human actually. But you can't define this vehicle as it made by the human. This simple design, no one ever know what have implanted inside of the vehicle. Many feature are there as a similar to your Tesla all the models having, but actually we know what's going inside, and the manufacturing of a Tesla Cybertruck is very hard to do. So the all the manufacturing, all of the vehicle, the Model S, model, all the models, and along with the Cybertruck, that's all thing is going on just under the one roof. So one roof means the Gigafactory. Gigafactory is the world's largest factory ever made. So let's see. let's see the Starlink. I'm very interested to see the Starlink. So 2015 to 2018, the same timeline is going on. So let's see. On the internet in a low Earth orbit. So before I'm going to read this out, I want to well, that's fine. On the internet in a low Earth orbit. So when the Musk launched the SpaceX back in 2002, he conceived it as an endeavor to get a humanity to Mars. Every week, amid all the technical meetings on our engine and rocket design, he held the one very otherworldly meeting called the Mars Colonizer. There be imagine what the Mars colony would like and how it should be governed. We tried to avoid the ever skipping the Mars Colonizer because there was a most of a fun meeting for him and always put him in a good mood. He's a former assistant Elisa Butterfield says. Getting to Mars would cost serious money. So Mars combined as a he often did aspirational mission with a practical business plan. There were the many revenue opportunities he could pursue, including the space tourism like Bezos and Branson, and satellite launches for the US and other countries and companies. In late 2014, he turned his attention to what was a much bigger part of the gold. Providing the internet service to paying the customer spaces would make the launch itself one the communication satellite. In effect, the rebuilding the internet in outer space. Internet revenue is about the $1 trillion in a year. He says if we can serve the 3%, that's the $30 billion, which is more than the NASA's budget. That was the inspiration for the Starlink to fund the getting to Mars. He pauses, then the adds before the emphasizes uh, the lens of the getting to Mars. He has motivated the every space's decision. To pursue this mission, Musk announced in 2 January 2015 the creation of the new division of SpaceX. Based in near Seattle, called the Starlink, the plan was to send the satellite into low Earth orbit, about the 340 miles high, so that the latency of the signals would not be as bad as s- systems that depend on the geosynchronous satellite, which orbit the 22,000 miles above the Earth. From their low altitude, Starlink beams cannot cover nearly much ground, so many needed the Starlink goal was eventually create the mega constellation of the 40,000 satellite. Okay, the Mark Juncas Junkaso. In the midst of the hellacious summer of the 2018, Musk was having a spidey sense that something was amiss at the Starlink. Its satellites were too big, expensive, and difficult to manufacture in order to reach the profitable scale. They would have to be made at the one-tenth cost and 10 times faster, but the Starlink team did not seem to feel much urgency. The cardinal sin for Musk. So the one Sunday, the night that June, without much warning, he flew a shuttle to fire the entire top test Starlink team. He brought with him the aid of his most senior space rocket engineers. None of knew much about the star satellite, but they all knew how to solve the engineering problem and apply the Musk algorithms. The engineer he tapped on takeover there was like a Mark Zonkosa who was already in charge of structural engineering at the SpaceX that had the advantage of integrating the design and manufacture of a SpaceX products from the boosters to satellite under the one manager. It also had the advantage of that the person being a Jankasa, the previously brilliant engineer who could mind meld with the Musk. Junkosa grew up with the lanky surfer dude in southern California, deeply loving the weather, culture, and vibe, but without the falling prey to laid-back loudness, so languidness. He uses his iPhone as a fidget spinner, whipping it around his thumb, index finger, and magic of the plate spinner. Circus, he speaks in a rapid scatter shot of exclamation studded with the and like a wow dude. He went to Colonel, where they joined the college Formula One racing team. His initial job was fabricating the car body, which used his skill in making the subboard, and then he was drawn into engineering work. I really like it, fell in love with it. Felt like a wow man, this is what I was built to do. He says one a visit to Cornell in 2004, the must sent a note to some engineering professors inviting them to bring one or two of their favorite students to lunch. It was like do you want to free lunch on this rich guy? Jingle would say, well, hell yeah, I'm into that for sure. When the mug described what he was doing, the space Jenkins thought, man, this guy's crazy as hell. I think he's going to lose his money, but he seems to super smart, motivated, and I like his style. When the must offer him the job, he accepted everything immediately. Jinko impressed the must with his risk-taking, rule-breaking attitude. When he was overseeing the development of the Dragon capsule, that carries the Falcon and payload into orbit. He was repeatedly cheated by quality assurance manager for not filling the proper paperwork. Jinko's team was designing the capsule all day, then spending the most of the night building it themselves. I told the dude that we didn't have a time to paperwork orders to quality checks, and we were going to build it and text it the every in the he says the quality dude was mad. Rightly, we ended up in a long cubicle arguing it out. Musk got fired up and started berating the quality assurance manager. It was pretty edgy, but he had an eye over the hell the brand owner getting his capsule done because we risking running out of the money, says Jankusa. So Jankusa, so first time we saw about the how the Starlink uh, satellite concept ever made. So the one day the Musk having the many meeting of generals, like the one meeting for the general meeting. So the second meeting is for the Mars colonizer. But the many people hating to attend on that meeting, but few people also does attend. But the Mars colonizer is a great meeting that where the Mars speaking the over and over time about the how we can colonize the Mars, how we will make the colony of Mars and the city then by so lots of things going there. So the Mars said if we create the internet service provider system over the low Earth orbit, then how it idea would be because this idea would create the almost $30 billion for us. So because this the telecommunication and internet service providing venture has the almost ton of trillion 1 trillion revenue by each year. So you know how it shit is going there. So improved Starlink. When Jankusa took over at the Starlink, he threw away existing design, started the back at the first principle level, questioning the every requirement based on the fundamental physics. The goal was to make the simplest communication satellite possible, and later add the bells and whistles. We had marathon meetings, and Elon pushed on every little things, says Jankusa. For example, the satellite antennas were on a separate structure from the flight computer. The engineer had decreed that they be thermally isolated from the one another. Junkus kept asking why. Told that the antennas might overheat, the Junkus asked to see the test data. By the time either asked why the fire times. Junkus says the people were like, shit, maybe we should just make this one integrated computer components. By the end of the design process, Junkosa had tuned the rats next to him to what was now simple flight satellite. It had a potential to be a order of the magnitude cheaper, more than twice the money could be packed into the nozzle cone of Falcon 9, doubling the number of each height flight could deploy. I was like a pretty happy with it. Janguda says I'm sitting there and thinking how clear I had been. But Musk was still picking over the each detail. When they were the launch on a Falcon 9, there were the connection holding each satellite down so they could release the one at the time, not bump into the each other. Why not release them all once? He asked that the engine initially struck Jenko's other engineer crazy. They were afraid of collision, but master the motion of the spaceship would cause them to separate naturally. If they did happen to bump, it would be very slow to harmless. So they got rid of the connector, saving their little bit of cost, complexity, and mass. Life got away easier because we killed those parts. Yakuza says, I was too chicken purpose that the Elon made us try. By May 2019, the design of the simplified Starlink was complete and Falcon 9 rocket began launching them into orbit. When they became the operational 4 months later, Musk was at his South Texas house and went on a Twitter, sending this the tweet through the space via Starlink. He wrote that he was now able to tweet on the internet that he owned. That the ironicity of Elon Musk, you know. I love this man always. So let's see the second thing. The next chapter is a starship. I wanted to read this chapter when the starship flight for launch. I really wanted to read this chapter on that day. Um, I will do, but I have the plenty time to do. So I will do my next thing is about the self-charging technology. So by then I will do next this thing. So this is over, but I want to summarize you that what we saw today. The first thing we have done about the grams that how the grams and Elon relation got up in a hell are up. It's the same as it happened within Musk every time. But the one thing is there that we know exactly what's going on there. One thing is not clear yet. So let's go, guys. I'm going to shut down my stream before it's going to be very late because today's our reading session has been ended up. Yeah, and we have done today 50 chapter. 52 is done. 53 is about to initiate. So the starship. Oh my God. So let's go, guys. My beautiful man. So guys, I'm going to do my the personal stream next thing. Like this is the time I got a time to do. So let's begin our stream. The next stream that would be for our the some structural information and ecosystem of the self-charging system. That what we have made of over this the year. So I have to explain anything about that. So before that, I'm going to explain you something about it. So guys, be on a stage. I will be a comeback. Yeah. So hope I will be come back. This is my promise.